Kia ora whānau, I'm Joanne Hakaraia Olsen. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. Today's video is a continuation of our last video, which was on Kaitohu Wairua series. And today's video is about rongoa. What is rongoa? And I will give you my perspective on what rongoa is, and it'll just be a brief introduction and we'll just see where that takes us. And so what rongoa to me is, it is a way of living and it's a way of being, and it is an ancient law, L-O-R-E. It's an ancient law. And at the foundations of rongoa are our atua, and being able to give reverence and acknowledgement to them. So rongo means peace, and so rongoa is about maintaining peace. So that means maintaining balance, restoring balance, and knowing when your environment is not in balance or not peaceful. So most people would look to their physical world or their body to know if there was peace, and we can do that. But we can also look into our spiritual dimension, the Wairua world, to ensure that peace is there and that we can restore balance within the Wairua world, because first and foremost we are spiritual beings. First and foremost we are Wairua. Lastly, we are physical. This is a manifestation of the Wairua world. Our environment of where we are is a manifestation of our Wairua world, what is happening in Wairua. So in the old days, we still do actually, we have many tohunga they're still working the old ways. But in the old days, the tohunga would live separate to our pa sites, to our pa, to the village. They would live separate, and that was to be able to remain in a state of tapu, or sacredness. So they could stay separately, and they could always be in their veil of being tapu, because their role, because they could read what was in the Wairua world, anything that was impinging in the Wairua world. They could see things moving across. They could read the clouds in the sky. All the tohu that were around were part of what they did in restoring balance. So they were reading tohu of their environment, and they had a really huge role. And also just acknowledging the tohunga. So the tohunga are like shamans for our overseas listeners. They're like shamans, and they're very revered, and we must acknowledge our tohunga, because they have been in this tapu state for however long in order to be a tohunga. They've had to do a lot of work to ensure that their bodies could maintain and sustain the high altitude energy that they've had to hold that type of mātauranga knowledge that was passed on to them. They certainly had to make sure that they were tapu and empty vessels before they could receive that higher learning, and would have taken years and very, very rigorous to be able to read the environment and look after their people. to look after their village. So that was a huge amount of mahi, and especially the amount of work that they would have had to have done before they became tohunga. So just giving absolute reverence to our tohunga. And, life has changed, and our modern world now has become very busy. Life is busy. Things have changed. It's not the same as before, and we have to move and change with those times. But we can still remember those ancient law, and bring that into our being in a way that we're kept safe. But still acknowledging the mātauranga that the body of rongoa is. And so rongoa to me is about restoring peace and balance, and it's also about being able to read our environment, and that's our physical and our spiritual environment. It's being able to see a manu that turns up beside me, and I know exactly why that manu's turned up, why that manu is bird, why that bird has turned up. If it gets my attention, it's turned up for a reason, and I will sift through my hinengaro, my mind, to see what I was thinking about. If there were decisions that I'm thinking about making, usually the bird is a tohu or a sign to help me and support me to make those decisions, or they can be guides. They can be guides into what path to take as well. So they bring messages, birds, manu, they bring messages to us. So being able to read our environment can be very, very helpful. And it's about, because life is busy, rongoa is about slowing down. It's about slowing down and bringing everything back to us, bringing it back into our state of sacred presence. And I know that's not easy to do, but it's a practice. And when you bring everything of you back, then you are whole. And so what are things that could be away from you? Well, when you think of somebody, when you're thinking of somebody that you love, or a friend, when you think of them, there's part of you that are with them. It's not with you. You are connected in a way that's that perhaps you're always thinking about them, or maybe you're sending them healing energy, or you're worried about them. So that's a part of you that is there. Another way is that your workplace, you've got an issue with work, you've got some challenges with work, and so your mind is there, and so that's, you're worried, and you're worried about what's coming up. So a part of you is connected to your work, so that's out there. There's a lot of different ways, and I'm sure that you could find things that you are connected to. And when you feel like this is a practice I do every night, is I take 3 deep breaths. And when I'm breathing in, I am bringing everything back with love. I'm bringing everything, all my threads, all my fragments, my wairua is coming back into my being so that I am whole. I bring it back with aroha, with love, because sometimes people can feel when you're really yanking your threads back to you. But it's really important practice to do, and it gets easier. But if you can do that every night, sometimes every morning, because our dreams, we can do a lot of traveling in our dreams and a lot of mahi in our dreams. We want to bring it back. Bring it back. And doesn't it feel good just saying that? Like for me, bring it back. It feels wonderful. Well, I just want to be whole. And it's okay to be whole. It's okay to have all your threads back with you. So this is still the body of rongoa. This is still my perspective on rongoa. So it's being able to read your environment, see tohu, see signs and stuff, being able to read them and interpret them for yourself. It's because what you're essentially doing is ensuring that there is peace. Rongo is peace. So ensuring that there is peace in your Wairua world, but if you need to, you can look at your physical world to start with and find out where the areas in life aren't so peaceful, or where there are challenges, or where there's a bit of chaos in your environment, in your whare, in your home. Is there someone having issues around you, family member, or an animal, a pet? Is there something going on with them? These are all tohu that is reflecting to you that peace needs to be restored and to maintain that peace. So that's in the physical world, what you're reading. By the time it reaches the physical world, it's already been in the Wairua world and it's trickled down. And the physical world is the manifestation of our spiritual world. So if it's in the physical already, it's already been in the Wairua world. The way to change it before it gets into the physical world is to know your spiritual world. To know your spiritual world, which is like what I said, bring your fragments back, bring everything back to you so that you're whole. You know, you do it automatically. You do it as a practice. You don't wait until it reaches the physical where you're feeling drained and depleted because you've left it too late. You can no longer give any more energy because it's been because you've given it out to everybody. So maintaining balance is part of rongoa. I'm not sure if I mentioned also within the rongoa world is, you know, there's body work, miri miri, romi romi, there's mahia wairua spiritual work, there are karakia and taku taku or incantations, kōrero that is provided to be able to bring peace and balance. That is what rongoa is. And at the heart of all of that is the state of sacred presence, or being in a state of tapu. That is, and that is what all of the body of knowledge within rongoa does, is it brings you into a state of tapu. Brings your temple, your body, brings your wairua into a state of sacred presence. And that is what rongoa does. It brings you back into your body, brings you back into a whole being to be able to feel your tapu, your sacredness. And you can only feel your sacredness when you are whole, when you are in your fully in your being. Another something that I wanted to share with you about rongoa is our purakau. Our purakau have it's so amazing. I'm just going to share one purakau that is about Tāne Mahuta, when the atua of the Ngahere, the forest, birds and people, when he ascended the rangi. He ascended the rangi, or the heavenly vibrations. He ascended the rangi via an aka, which is a vine, a sacred thread. He ascended the rangi via an aka to retrieve the 3 baskets of knowledge and the 2 whatukura from our higher source, to bring back down, to place in the wharikura for ngā tangata katoa, for humanity. And in that purakau, in that story, is such there is so much information in that purakau. It is, as Mauri Marsden says, what te is. It is the seed. A seed word is like a korowai of the word. In that purakau is so much information. Tāne gave us the pathway for ascension. He gave us the pathway to retrieve or receive knowledge, higher learning, higher knowledge. He forged the pathway for us and gave us the map on how to do that, gave us the codes, the keys on how to do that. And I love this so much, because one of the ways that he climbed the rangi to retrieve knowledge is via an aka. So an aka is a vine. And of course, as a plant medicine woman, I tune into plants. I work with the Mauri, or the life force of plants. I see the vine, or the aka. There are many vines, there are many plants that act as a bridge, a spiritual bridge to higher dimensions. And so they act as a spiritual bridge to higher dimensions, plants. And this is without ingesting, without smoking them. This is by tuning my spiritual heart, the manawa, into the resonance of the plants in order to enter the dimension of the rangi. That is what plants do. They act as a spiritual bridge, and that's just tuning into the Mauri. This is rongoa. This is what rongoa is, and it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful that there is so much knowledge just based in that purakau, that story alone, that it would take a lifetime or longer to unravel, or for it to be revealed, everything to be revealed. And a lot of that knowledge, a lot of that recorded knowledge has been lost. But we can still access those areas, those dimensions, and a lot of people do access them. And it's just amazing. So that is what rongoa is. For me, what rongoa is about balance and restoration, being able to read our environments physically and spiritually. It's about our purakau, and sitting with them and understanding them. They are our pillar of knowledge. They're our pillar. They're our foundations that anchor us into mātauranga Māori and Rongoā Māori. And also whakapapa, atua and whakapapa. That is what rongoa is to me. And paying tribute to our tohunga out there and the tohunga of old for all their mahi and the knowledge that they hold. Because our tohunga had to go underground. They had to go underground because they were banned from doing their mahi, doing their work for our people in 1907. That was called the Tohunga Suppression Act. And a lot of them went underground, and a lot went into the churches to be able to do the mahi that they do. Giving reverence and acknowledging to our tohunga today, and all the shaman out there who light the way for others, and that keep our world safe, and the ones that restore balance and peace for humanity. Ngā mihi nui ki a koutou.